Hey, Mike, how are you?
I am as well as I always try to be on Tuesday. How are you?
I'm pretty good. It's Tuesday. It's the weather has broken a little bit. I am.
Oh
I
no,
don't know. I'm in a
you live too close to Washington. When something is broken, I think there's a scandal.
well. Yeah, there's that. Like we can't get by without scandal. I love the fact that you're wearing a Sons of Addison shirt today, um,
Yeah,
because our one of our guests worked on Sons of Anarchy comics. So there you go.
there you go. That's
So that's
true.
interesting.
That is
So
true. Yes.
we will get to our guests fairly shortly. We have a couple of guests on tonight, Luca Pizzari and Fred Van Lente. We're going to talk about their new comic that comes out tomorrow. In the meantime, we have a couple of things we want to touch on in our opening dialogue. There's some news that just hit within the last couple of hours, and it's something we've been kind of tracking here on the SquadCast. Um, it is it's related to the management and functioning of Dark Horse Comics, which is important because Dark Horse Comics is important to this industry.
It's a
So
legacy publisher by today's standards.
it is a legacy publisher by
Well,
today's standards.
40 years.
Yeah, it has.
I know.
It's
I
as
know.
long as I can remember, just about. So for to catch people up real quick, Dark Horse fired. I'm going to say fired Mike Richardson, and during the restructuring that they had recently and earlier this year, Mike was the company was sold to a larger group called the Embracer Group, who the Embracer Group has now done some layoffs. There's been unionization at Dark Horse. There's been layoffs at Dark Horse. The Embracer Group is now being called what is this called? Is it called something else? I forget what it is. They have a new name.
They have a
I'm
new
trying to
name.
follow through this.
I have it here somewhere.
Oh, Fellowship Entertainment.
Right, right.
Fellowship
Yes.
Entertainment is now the exec Jay Comas, who served as interim CEO, I believe is still listed as CEO, but they've done a lot of stuff to restructure the people there. And there's going to be 3 new department heads to lead the company. One is Tim Weish as head of publishing and business development. Another is Vanessa Todd Holmes, who's head of publishing operations, and Melissa Tiemann is going to be head of finance and administration. A bunch of other people have gotten promoted. Mark Bernardi got promoted to vice president of publishing sales. Daniel Chaban has been elevated to executive editor. Very happy about that. Samantha Garcia has been promoted to director of marketing. Stuart Schreck was also recently promoted to director of sales, which Stuart is a friend of ours. And also they've hired Kevin Callahan as the long vacant role of VP of marketing. So I want to say, and I'm going to give you time to give your opinions on this. I've met Tim Weish, who is now the head of publishing and business development. He is I shared a very, very fine evening with him. I think he likes comics a lot. I know he likes comics a lot. I know it just feels like he's the right kind of person to be given this type of influence, power, whatever.
Responsibility, I think, is
Yeah.
the word.
Yeah. I'm excited for him. I'm excited that this is the decision that the powers that be above Dark Horse decided to go. So, what's your take on it?
Well, it's a difficult job that Tim is in right now, and anybody who takes on that type of a position willingly has my respect, or at least my awe. I have to start out though by noting that Mike Richardson is one of the major pioneers, in the comics industry. We owe him a lot. Don't know what he's doing, but I wish him well. Known him for 40 years, for crying out loud. Tim, I don't know. I haven't met him. You're one up on me on that. However, he is fairly well known for his stance on creators' rights. And people who have spent more than 7.5 minutes with me know that is an extremely important thing to me. It's important to the industry. It should be important to everybody. So, Tim, live up to it now, pal. You got the opportunity, and I look forward, to aiding in that any way we can. It's that critical. They seem to have a really solid management team, and a large one, for not too large, not heavyweight in terms of quantity. Uh, but I respect that because they're covering bases that need to be covered in order to do the dark horse thing, in order to do the thing of the third or fourth largest publisher of comics in America. Hell of a job, but it would be a hell of a job for anybody other than Marvel and DC, and putting up with their ever-changing ownerships is a hell of a job too. So there.
Yeah. So I'm happy about that. I think I am cautiously hopeful as I would like. I think that's where I normally fall on the positive side. It's cautiously hopeful. I am hopeful that this will be a good thing, but I am also cautious about the whole thing because everything seems to blow up in our faces.
Yes, the comics business, if you were to rank businesses in terms of stability, historical stability, the comics field in America would probably rank very low. We ain't stable as an industry, probably because a lot of the people who are running it aren't stable as human beings. Lord knows I would not call myself stable. So, it seems like a good fit. We're still a bunch of malcontents. Comics is still evil to the norms of society. And as long as we maintain that attitude and treat everybody who works with us the way human beings should be treated, we'll do fine. So will Dark Horse.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I want to switch topics. Let's talk a little bit about some film and TV news, some stuff that came out today. Well, I want to say also that for people who are not paying attention, if you didn't know, San Diego is only 2 weeks away because everything in the comics industry is already like it's like it might as well already be here. Everybody's talking about what they're going to be doing there. Publishers and other people are talking about what they are going to be doing there. And subsequently, some news came out, I think it was today or recently, about Avatar Aang, The Last Airbender, which is going to be an animated film. Paramount owns Avatar, and they own the company that the creators have developed to do more Avatar stuff. And this was originally supposed to be a film theatrical release in October. They took it off the schedule. Then the film, I think, was leaked online. And now they're not going to have it on. They said they were still going to do it in October, but it wasn't actually on the schedule. And so now they've decided they're just going to put it straight on streaming on July 25th. But if you're at San Diego on July 24th, you can watch it there. If you get
I would prefer to watch it on my iPad on the plane coming back from San Diego, or I go to San Diego. What you mentioned about how, like, for weeks and weeks before the show, really it has already dominated everything in comics. That has been going on for decades, maybe three decades, maybe four. I mean, it's really a very long time. And the fun part about San Diego, other than the fact that, they squeeze a lot of sardines into that can, is the fact that nobody there knows what's going on over there. So if you're 3 feet away, you're hearing all kinds of stuff that's really cool. Some of it may even be true. And then you go back and you mention it to somebody else, and they go, "What the hell are you talking about? Are you insane? That can never happen." In point of fact, that has happened to me repeatedly in San Diego. Uh, it's 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 a big deal, I guess. It's more about comics now
I don't
than
know.
it had been. I know you're not going this year, but you went last year and you had a great time.
I did. I am trying to figure out about next year. I probably, well, the weekend of that, I will not be in San Diego. I will be in the Durham, Raleigh area, so I probably might make an appearance at GalaxyCon Raleigh that weekend. I'll definitely be having dinner with friends.
You should go just to appreciate the fact that they've got the stones to put it on that weekend.
It's a 4-day show.
I understand. Well, it would have to be, otherwise nobody'd notice it. I respect that, though. I mean, San Diego, in case you haven't looked at a map lately, is still on the far southwest corner of the United States of America. And it isn't even its closest neighbor. One of its closest neighbors is Hawaii, and that's thousands of miles away. So I like the idea of a big show happening on the East Coast.
Sure.
So there.
Back to the Avatar Last Airbender. I love Avatar Last Airbender. It's one of my favorite animated shows of all time.
Really?
I'm looking forward to this. It takes place after that show, but well before Legend of Korra, where Aang as a young adult as the last Avatar. And Dave Bautista's in it. So
that's cool.
He plays a newly found airbender.
Really?
Anyway, that's cool. The end of this month. That's coming out. Some programming news before we bring our guests in. We were originally supposed to have the Benson sisters on next week. They're not going to be here, so we will reschedule that shortly. We were hoping to have them on before the release of season 2 of Batman the Cape Crusader, but we will have them on after the release of the first episodes of that. They are producers on that show.
Do you have a date on that?
I don't yet. Based on your and our discussion earlier, it'll probably be later in August, but on having that. The Batman.
When does Lantern? Yeah. When does Lantern?
Lanterns is in August, and Batman is, I think, July 31st or something like that.
Oh, okay. So Batman is before Lanterns.
Yes, before Lanterns.
Is that where we're going to see Guy Gardner's new costume?
No, I don't think we're seeing it in the Cape Crusader. The anime.
No. I meant I meant the Lanterns. Yeah.
No? Probably at the end. I would say probably. I think he's going to show up in it.
I have no idea why I'm looking forward to this. I mean, I grew up as a Green Lantern fan, of course, but I want to see just how they fit into the new DC universe, and I want to see how they handle the dismissive need to comment on that first movie. I realize they're not going to be able to.
The first Green Lantern movie.
Right. And the only Green Lantern theatrical movie that isn't animated. So I'm curious to see. I'm hoping they'll try to top Deadpool. I don't think they can, but let's see. Well,
it's gonna. I think it's going to be entertaining. I think it's going to be entertaining, just like Supergirl's entertaining. Just like it doesn't. People have to get over the fact that the MCU was lightning in a bottle that cannot be recaptured. It was a special thing. If you get close to it, that's fine. It's something that's it should not be the expected goal. It can be a goal, but it should not be expected, because the way that built, and a lot of it was luck and happenstance and organic. Some of it was planned and some of it was orchestrated. But the way that built, and the fan base grew and aged with it, makes it something that you can't just say, "Oh, here, let me put these ingredients in this bowl, mix it up, and I'm going to get it again." So you have to take it for what it is. And I think what James Gunn is trying to do, or starting to do, is entertaining and watchable, and something that, you know, people, I think, will resonate with them if they get over the fact that they're never going to get that piece of magic without, you know, amazing things coming together.
I like what he's done both as a director and as a sort of co-producer. I like it a lot. He knows comics. He knows comics people. He has the same love, respect, and affection for the medium as we do. He doesn't walk on water. He will undoubtedly make some stuff that I hate. He hasn't yet. But that's okay, because even if I don't like it, it's worth watching if it's part of a bigger picture. If you don't have the time, or you don't want to spend the $317 for a couple boxes of popcorn, I get that. I don't either, actually.
Yeah. All right. So I'm going to say this loudly so our guest will come back and sit down shortly, because he got up and walked away. But we're gonna bring our guests in just a second here. And so,
we always wait until they leave. They get
so we're gonna bring in our guests. We're gonna talk to them about their things. Okay. So one of the guests was getting a prop. You'll see in a sec. We're ready. We're gonna bring them in.
Cool.
Everybody, please welcome. We're going to do this in a twofold thing. So first, we're going to bring in Luca. His first time on the show, Luca Pizzari. Please welcome to Pop Culture SquadCast. Hi, Luca.
Hey guys, thanks for having me.
Oh, welcome. Welcome.
It's nice to meet you, Luca.
Nice to meet you too, guys.
We're gonna bring in your silly co-creator right now. He's been here before, so welcome back, Fred.
He's been around.
Hello, sir.
Ahoy, mateys. Permission to come aboard.
Yes, you do. But before we get too deep into this, I want folks to see what we're talking about. So if you don't mind, we're gonna watch it. We're gonna watch a video together, and let's take a look at this.
Very nice.
Very well done. Very
Yes.
well done.
It feels very good every time I see it. I've seen it like
That's
bunch
good.
of
That's
times.
awesome. That's fantastic.
Well, this
Vampyrates comes out
this
tomorrow.
was my first time seeing it, and I loved it. I was going to read the book anyway. But
Now
it's
you're
just-
really you're sold.
well, it floated higher up on my pile there.
Excellent.
Um,
That's all we can ask for.
Vampyrates comes out tomorrow at your comic shop or wherever you get comics, online and physically. From Boom Studios.
Yes.
Tell us about it. Where did this idea come from?
Well,
And you guys have worked together before. You worked together on
Weapon X. Yeah,
Weapon X.
which I did
Marvel,
not
yeah.
see in the extremely comprehensive cover
Well,
barrage.
Yeah.
it is in his. It is in his, and I
It
had it
wasn't
in yours,
mine.
but I
Oh, it was in
a
yours.
lot.
Okay,
It-
I was too.
the cover, the issue that he did, the first issue.
I think you just have too much stuff,
Luca.
man. They had to cut something.
I mean, literally, the covers he showed were literally from 1996 to 2026. So
That-
I
awesome?
like
Takes
how
a-
they
takes
were
a while.
like, at least for, I don't know about yours, for mine, they were all in chronological order. It was really, really good to see.
yeah, so
like,
were mine.
That's 10 years of my career right there. It's really cool.
That's right.
Yeah, but that's why we didn't run it in the opposite order.
Yes.
That would be really depressing.
So, Vampyrates, where does this come from?
Well, we worked together on this Marvel book, and we ended up going to a convention in Richmond together in Virginia, GalaxyCon,
Mhm.
and realized we didn't live very far from each other in Brooklyn, so we got together and we're like, let's do a series. Like I have to admit, Luca, I actually thought you were a completely different artist at first, and then the first thing that happened, and I was kind of like, oh, I don't know if this is gonna work out. The first thing Luca does, well, he's a very gracious guy. The first thing he did when he met is he handed me a Weapon X page.
Ah,
I was like, oh, thank God. It's not
That
who I
guy.
thought it was. This guy's
I
actually
mean,
good.
I
Wait,
always
what
do
you-
that. Like I
did
made
you-
a
Did I'm sorry. Go ahead,
no,
Luca,
just
please.
as an aside, I made a habit that whenever I have a really good experience doing a book, if I get to meet the writer or the editor, I give them a page of from the issue that we've done together. It's like I always
Oh,
done
yeah.
that. I'm gonna be completely honest with you. It started as a way to get the graces of editors, like please remember me. But then I
Sure,
realized,
sure.
like, probably if you're an editor, you get everybody wants to give you something. So I think it's much more meaningful to give it to somebody that made the book with you.
Yep, absolutely.
Speaking as an editor of decades of experience, not everything that you're given is something you necessarily want. Yours is a
You just
is a
described life,
very
man.
that's right, exactly. But yours is a very classy thing to do. Very classy. And if you just gave something to
And I
the
believe
editor,
I
it
made
would-
you a good discount on it, no?
you look like you're sucking up if you just gave it to the editor, but you give it to the writer as well. That's great.
Yeah.
That's perfect.
So,
Because the thing
No,
is,
sucks up stuff.
people that I work with, like Fred or other writers, they've been doing this for a long time. And
Yeah.
I still think like I'm the new kid on the block. So I'm constantly, even after, like I was saying, after 10 years of doing this, I still feel mind blown every time I get to, well, I made a book with these people. This is so cool. And I just want to, like, do a little nice thing to say, like, we did something amazing. That, sometimes you make a book and it's like, especially for artists, making a book is like 6 months of your life. And then
Yeah.
maybe the book comes out and it's just lost in this ocean of stuff that comes out every month. But it's like, it's nice to remember that we actually made something really nice together. And, I don't know, it felt like a nice thing to do.
It is. It's just that simple. do I see Bob? Are you there?
And so,
Sorry?
so Luca gave me the page, and we started talking, and we started banding about a bunch of ideas, and none of them were really sticking. Luca was like, "I don't want to draw cars. Nothing with cars. I'm sick of drawing cars." Just looks over,
Boats.
and he says,
Yeah, basically, it's like because I'm an artist, like I obviously don't think in terms of story, but I think in terms of like cool image. Like most of the ideas I had for books, it's like just an image comes to me, and then I try to go from there. And it's like, okay, what's the story behind this? And in this case, it was kind of like that, meaning that I was like, I told him very honestly, I don't have a story, I don't have an idea, but I don't know, it just came to me, this word, just a word, Vampyrates. I think it's a really cool word. It's one of those very, very rare things that it basically, it kind of sells itself, because like, if I tell you Vampyrates, even if you've never heard of it, you know what it is. Like, you're getting exactly what's on the tin. It's like, it's a really cool, I don't know, I thought it was a really creative and cool word. And I was like, we have to do something with it. I have no idea. You're the writer. It's your job. But I knew that it's like, I was actually something that I've been telling anybody. Like, I was very shocked that nobody has used the word before, because I was like,
Yeah.
I'm sure there's a title, there's something like a movie or another comic, because it's it's right there. Like, it's the word is like right there. But then we discovered that no, apparently he hasn't been used, and we started from there. I could see like Fred's eyes glowing, and 3 days later he came back with a full treatment, and everything was right there. So I like to think that it's one of those things where the stars aligned.
Well,
I agree
one of
with
the
you
things-
wholeheartedly. That is a great name, and my first reaction was, didn't somebody use this? This can't be brand new. I mean, and now I'm looking for like trademarks and stuff. So if there is a hidden use somewhere, you'll find out soon enough.
Yeah,
We'll get
the
the
joke I always make is that these days people come to me saying, "So you're doing vampire with a Y because it's the original archaic spelling in the English language." Like, no, also for legal reasons,
yeah, there is
Because you never know.
legal reasons. So there's a middle grade something or other without the Y, right, or something like that.
I think so, yeah.
Well, we don't have to talk about that. Well, I want to kind of give you some space about this, and there was a couple of comments that I saw like on one of the aggregator sites, and there are two things, and I think they are both valid, and I'd like your response to them. One said, "Vampires and pirates with a woman lead, sign me up," and I think that sounds fantastic.
We appreciate that.
The other one is, "Finally a pirate comic. We need more of these." What do you think of that?
Yo ho ho. Yeah, no, that's a fantastic comment, particularly about the female lead. I tend to, I'd say about 60% of my books have had female leads, slightly skewing in that direction. But yeah, it is funny to think about that, like, how in Watchmen they posited like pirate comics would take over superhero comics if they're real life superheroes. And in truth, the most popular comic in the world right now is a pirate comic. One Piece is just a massive juggernaut.
That's fair.
So it's funny that, I agree. Why aren't there more pirate comics except for the biggest comic in the world?
If you overlook that one.
Yeah, exactly. If we forget about that one.
Back in the mid-50s, when EC Comics was trying to stay in the comic book business despite the comics code at all, they launched a series called Piracy that was and remains in my heart today one of the best drawn comic series of all time. Bertie Krigstein and Reed Crandall and Wally Wood. My God, what a beautiful, beautiful comic book. The stories were a bit overwritten, which was the style in those days, and but it lasted as long as EC stayed in the color comics business, which is 7 months.
I always feel like that all those new trend titles, right? Like piracy and wasn't it psychoanalysis and
psychoanalysis? Yeah, it's a boring, tedious comic book that sounds like it should have been terrific.
It's like they took the old lettering style of EC Comics and like I think what they were doing, like imagine Luca, it was half comic, like half pictures and half words. That's how much I feel like they were trying to like keep the feds off them by being like, no, we added more words. We're adult now. Leave us alone.
Yeah, you're probably right about that. That's got to, at least some folks probably had that attitude back then. That would make sense.
But yes, piracy was very wordy, much wordier than our comic.
We've been dancing around. What's this book about? What is it? There's pirates and there's vampires, but what's the crux of the story?
Well, you got the gist of it from the trailer.
Sure.
They're in this world, vampires the dominant species thanks to a 1,000-year eclipse, which has taken away their one real weakness that they have in our world. And they've taken over. They run the Vampyrium, which is the empire that stretches across what's called the Night Isles. This is an archipelago world with like vaguely 18th, maybe sometimes if we're feeling frisky, 19th century technology. And the head of the Vampyrium is a woman named Nira, who would rather go out drinking and fencing than sit on the throne. And some people don't like her because of that. They don't like her because she's too lenient towards the humans who exist about 4-to-1 ratio in vampire society, but they're essentially second-class citizens. They're essentially, cattle with clothes on. And that's how they're treated. Maybe Nero is going to try and change some of that, and some of the elements in our government don't like that. So basically, she used to flee. Luca's like, why are you telling me the entire plot of number 1? She is to flee, but she accidentally ends up on a pirate ship with the pirate captain Akeo, who can't stand her. And she starts from up here at the very top and ends up down the bottom. And can she fight her way back to her throne and become queen of the seas?
And all this happens tomorrow.
That's right.
It does. It happened for me today because I read it.
Excellent.
And it's great. It's one of the things that and Luca, thank you for this. I'm going to talk about a couple of images, but invariably when I read a Fred Van Lente comic, I'm like, okay, I'm going to get into this, see what this is about. And then somewhere around page 8 to 10, I'm like, all right, I can't let this go. I can't put this down. I need to finish this. And that's when I get hooked, whether it was this or Murder Kingdom or even Ninjets or so many other things. Psylords was so good.
So what you're saying is that the first 10 pages are usually shit.
No.
Hey.
It's not that. Like the prologue was great, but and I'm like, okay, this is a good book. I'm here. And then you're like, then there's a point where there's no turning back. You can't put it down, right? I want to share. I don't know if this is legal or not, but we're sharing this image. So,
okay. Yep. It's on the back cover of a lot of the issues.
It's not this is page like 4. This is first page of after the prologue. This is gorgeous. This is just I love this page and everything about it for comics. It is a way to give you an idea of what this world is that you're about to encounter. It gives you the words are just kind of like setting some stuff up, but I just really love the way it's like you had cold open and then boom, here's your actual open. And I really love that. I think that was really
actually I'm not sure if I'm supposed to say it, but I don't care. The book comes out tomorrow and I'm in a good mood.
Yeah.
But basically that page was supposed originally was page 1. Like the
Yeah.
comic started with that page,
I
and
get.
then we
That makes sense.
decided to put like a prologue in front of it to just give a bit more of a oomph.
Marketing
But
was like, we need
originally,
more
like-
pirate action, and we were like, we're team
Like,
players.
Give me 4 pages.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Originally, until basically, I don't know, 2 weeks before we went to print, that was page 1.
Did
You know, the beautiful thing is you can do that now. I'm so envious. I'm so envious because you know, it used to be you had to start working on a comic book before some of the people involved were even born. You know, it would just take months and months and months to get something, particularly a first issue, off the ground. And today, you know, they say, let's stick 4 pages in the front, and so that people can figure it out. And you go like, sure, you know, we can do that. I remember waiting for FedEx.
Yeah, it's
No, I'm old enough to remember waiting for. I'm old enough to remember running to FedEx to get.
Yeah,
I've
me
never
too.
done that, but every
not that
time
old,
I
Fred, 'cause
read
you're
the
not calling-
interviews with artists from the 80s or 70s, it sounds so insane because to me it's so ingrained part of my job. The fact that, you know, I sit on my desk, I draw a page, then when the page is over, I scan it and I send it off. And to think that, like, no, actually, tomorrow morning I need to grab my jacket and go to the post office to send it physically to the office. It sounds so insane to me.
And of course, this was well before computers. The thing about FedEx started 83, 82, 83, 84, somewhere around there. And the first thing I ever had delivered to me via FedEx was the logo for John Sable Freelance, Mike Grell's book. And Mike did the logo.
Who did that?
Actually.
What a way
I'm
to
sorry?
start, man.
Who
What
did-
a way
Oh,
to
yeah.
start.
But what was funny about it was somebody had put their thumb through the package, so there was a rip in it. Now, it didn't affect the artwork, but I thought, so this is the wave of the future, you know? Okay, I appreciate overnight delivery. I should point out that a writer who shall remain nameless right now had to FedEx his scripts in those days, but if he was late, he would backdate the way bill, which never worked.
That's not how that works.
That's not how it works.
So my favorite comics FedEx related story is I got my start working for Malibu Comics, and I went out to visit them in Calabasas, California. And
Wait a minute. You're telling me Malibu Comics is not based in Malibu?
I know, right? The media lies to you, Luca. It's very sad. You know, yes, any day now it'll peek in.
In my
It's
head,
just-
it was the only reason why they would be called like that.
Yeah, I agree.
So they insisted. So I was talking to the editors. They insisted. This is a very famous artist who I will not name for obvious reasons. They said every time they got FedEx with his pages in there, there were like pubic hairs stuck to the adhesive, the FedEx adhesive, and they're like, it's crazy every time. It's crazy. And I'm sitting there thinking, but the only thing I thought was, I was like, first thing I thought was, should you really be telling me this? They all got fired like next month. So I think clearly they were just like, we don't care. Marvel shut them down right after I visited. Because they had bought them like a year before.
For no good reason, let us point out.
Oh no, yeah, I saw the whole. They bought them, Luca, for the coloring department with its
I know that story.
computers.
It's way before my time, but the story I read is that they bought them because so that we can close them, like specifically to close them.
Well, the public.
Yeah,
reason
I don't see that
because they didn't know how to computer color. Supposedly, they figured it out pretty quickly and shut down Malibu.
No, they just didn't know what to do with it. They wanted to pick up more market share to lock everybody else out. But I don't think that's the reason why they bought Malibu. I think they bought Malibu because they thought that they could make money with the properties. And they probably could have if they tried, but they didn't. People were buying Marvel as a company more frequently in those days than people were buying Marvel as individual comic books.
Mhm.
Ownership changed by the hour, pretty much like DC is now.
I want to know who did the logo to John Sable that got shipped to you.
Mike did.
Mike did. Oh, so Mike.
Yeah, surprise. Yeah. He was in Idaho in those days, I think. No, Wisconsin. Wisconsin. He shipped it down from Wisconsin.
So why do we start talking about FedEx?
Because the words came out of my mouth.
Because we were talking about how the prologue was added.
Oh yeah,
so
the prologue
process.
So I totally get that. I loved the prologue. But I totally. That's why I said that issue, that page, which page 5 now, I guess. It feels like you have that something's going on, and all of a sudden there's like a title screen, and like that's it, like that.
Mm-hmm.
Boom. Yeah. And it's really great. And I love the cinematic aspect of it. There's so much of this. It's beautiful. I love the color palettes that are used with it, because it's
I'm
very
very glad to hear that, because if I have to be 100% candid, I resisted the idea a bit, but then like Fred said, if comics is nothing but like good comic, I believe that it comes from good team playing, good
sure.
Everything is in there. We're all on the same boat. So it's like, I have to be honest, I resisted the idea more for the principle. I think that is like, a marketing team now tells us how to make our comics. But then everybody was like,
we love you, Boom Marketing.
Do it.
We love
you.
I have a history of not playing well with marketing departments, no matter what the medium, no matter what the job, because I believe the creative spirit should be free. That's fine, and it should be free. Unfortunately, you can't afford it.
Yeah, exactly. Because
you can't afford free.
If it doesn't sell, it hurts everybody, right?
Right, exactly. We're out of business, exactly. Which out of business is a nice way of saying you're out of a job.
Yeah. No, but it feels really, really nice to hear that it works as an introduction to the book, because I was actually really happy that the page that you show was the first page of the book.
Sure.
But then to hear that you think it actually works maybe even better after a while, it sounds really nice to hear.
I know how much that page meant to you just by looking at it. Like, you can see it. It's difficult. It's interesting as you study a medium. You know what it means. You know what things are and what people are trying to say differently than if you're just consuming it. So I when I got that page, I'm like, this is his sell point. This is this is why everybody wants to watch this, or see this or read it. So yeah, I totally get that. We have a comment, and I'm going to throw a page up here that's, it comes out tomorrow, so buy the book. But so like this page, I don't know if I can make this bigger or something. Let's see if I can bring it over here. There we go. So like this page, the question is, how did you decide on the clothing would look like in this period-ish, fake timeline period? Like how did you go about developing the clothing that the people wore?
Well, basically, the thing is that when you do a vampire book, even though our book is set in a different world, but it's like, it's kind of like it always comes to mind like Lord of the Rings. Like Lord of the Rings is set in a different world, but it looks like medieval Europe, because you have to start somewhere, right? And so it's like our book is set in a different world, but invariably, whether you like it or not, when you think of vampires, you think of Victorian England, like because of
Okay.
Dracula, because of like the visual DNA that's been ingrained to you. And I wanted to kind of like, you cannot ignore that, but also I wanted to avoid that. So I was like, you know what? It's also a book about pirates. So basically, we decided that it's a world in which culture looks like pretty much everything from the 1600 to Victorian age. So I started picking stuff from Elizabethan era, from Edwardian era, and in particular for the clothing, that page that you show is actually particular, is totally one of the many, many, many great ideas that Fred had. That basically, what happened is that that's the dress that she has, that our protagonist has for her wedding. And basically, what happened is that a few weeks before the wedding, basically
Right.
the design of her dress leaked out, and now everybody's dressed like that.
I don't know where anything like that would happen, like in the last weekend, where people are talking about what people are wearing at a wedding.
Well,
It's,
Like, I
you
mean, a
know,
little bit. I mean, a little on the nose there, Fred. I mean, you got to stop with that time machine.
from a
She's the
visual
empress, so she's a
from a
big
visual
So is the other one.
true.
from a visual standpoint, there is little that is more effective, faster in terms of establishing time, period, location, atmosphere, weather, just by the clothing. It is a critical part of the development of your visual approach to a series, to a comic book. It is absolutely critical. Movies, you have dialogue, you have accents, you have music. In comics, you know, cars even aren't a good way to do that. Costuming, perfect. I respect that.
thanks, man.
How
It was really cool to design all this stuff.
how long is this arc? And I'm using that word because I'm hopeful that it is only an arc and that there will be more.
As are we.
All right, good. So how long is this arc?
5 issues.
Okay. Do you, in terms of the rest of the creative team, I'm sorry, I forgot who did the colors.
Adam Gazowski.
Adam Guzowski.
Did you bring them in? Jody did the letters.
Yeah, Jody's great. I've worked with Jody before. Boom brought Jody in. She crushed it.
She crushed it.
Yeah.
This is phenomenal. Like I'm assuming she did a lot of the most of the sound effects.
I think all of them.
Yeah.
Don't think Luca.
Yeah.
And
I'm trying to think if I drew some of them, but I don't think so.
I phenomenal. I gotta tell you, for me, sound effects can be hit or miss, because there's a lot of people who think they're really good at it and they're not. These are amazing. These are really, really important to the way that things go, but they also look great. They do the effects. Jody killed it on this. I'm super excited about her work. And the lettering itself is just phenomenal.
She's great. Adam, we brought Adam in. He does me and Ryan Dunleavy's Action Philosophers and Comic Book History Comics series. So he consulted with Adam, Adam consulted with Luca, even though Luca obviously is a radically different artist than Ryan, and they came with a great look for the book.
I think, like I said, the palette is really fantastic. I think it fits so well. It's limited, but not too limited. Go ahead, Mike. I'm sorry.
Getting back to the sound effects lettering. This is the second time in a half hour I'm going to reference EC Comics, and in this case, my favorite EC Comics story, written sort of by Harvey Kurtzman and drawn, and the sound effects drawn by Wally Wood. It's called Sound Effects, and it's a story told without any dialogue whatsoever, just sound effects. It's sort of a murder mystery police thing, and it's hilarious and it is beautiful. And by the way, if you want to figure out how to do creative sound effects placement, check that story out. One of the early issues of Mad Comics. It's really brilliant.
It is great. That's a great story.
Luca, you were going to say something about the coloring or lettering or.
Oh yeah, like something I always joke about, that my career has been like a source of great frustration because I always felt like I was never paired with a colorist that gets my stuff. And honestly, I was so happy. I am so happy with Adam, because I think he's like by far the coloring that I'm most satisfied about in my whole career. Like he really nailed it. Like we had several discussions about this, because that's something I've already said in other podcasts, that basically this is my first creator-owned book, and I discovered very soon that I'm gonna say something obvious, that basically you really care about about the page, about the art in a different way, because when you work for hire for Marvel or DC, literally my work ends the moment I hit send. I send the page off, and then, like, I know there's gonna be a colorist, I know there's gonna be a letter, but it's like I'm not gonna tell anybody how to do their job. It's fine, focus on the next page. And for this book, I was surprised to see that no, I actually care a lot how it's gonna be colored and lettered and how it's gonna look on the actual book once it's printed. So for the first time, I asked the colorist, I asked Adam, like, hey, can we have a conversation? Because of course, I'm not a colorist, I cannot color my book, but I know very well how I would like it to look like visually. And so I sent him a mood board that was just a collection of influences and inspiration that I think would fit the tone of the book, and he nailed it. The mood board was anything from Hammer horror movies, which I think I'm in love with Hammer movies. I love them so much because it's like I don't know, they're horror, but they're so colorful. They're very, very lively. They have those neon pink and green, and I love them. And then there was probably way more Scooby-Doo steals that I would like to admit. And a lot of like anime stuff. I knew that I wanted, because we already discussed with Fred that this was going to be a book in which there is a permanent eclipse. So it's technically always night. And I think, I don't know how consciously, but I knew that I wanted to counterbalance that by having a very colorful book. And Adam just nailed it right away. Like we asked him, he was graceful enough, because like Fred said, Fred already worked with him. I wasn't familiar with his work. So he was graceful enough to try on a couple of pages to see, because it's like, again, it's a creator-owned book. It's very important to me, and I didn't want to like hire somebody because it was available, and then halfway through issue 1 find out that it wasn't a good fit. So he was very, very gracious. He accepted to do a couple of pages to see if he would fit, and he just nailed them like immediately. Like first thing I saw from him, I was like, yeah, that's the guy.
There you go. I mean, that's magic, and you're lucky, but that's magic. We have more color artists today who do that sort of thing, who are very, very, very conscientious. Back in the days when colors were being paid by the pound and we were using the R2D2 coding system of over a couple of dozen colors and stuff, people didn't care as much. Some did. but most didn't because they just had all these pounds of pages to do every night. Tatiana Wood, I know I'm stuck now in the Wood family, but Tatiana Wood was one of the great color artists of all time. And I was privileged to work with her on The Question. And she, back in those days, would go over each of Denny O'Neill's scripts with me, page by page, and Dennis Cowan's artwork, pencils, page by page, panel by panel, so that she knew what was going on, which meant that I had to know what was going on. But luckily, this was that book was so good, I did know what was going on. It was great.
Top 3 favorite of mine of all time.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Well,
absolutely.
Wow, that's just a wonderful thing to hear. Tatiana is still very, very high in my pantheon of color artists. Sadly, she's no longer with us, let alone practicing. We're working. I understand your feeling though about getting into the business and meeting these people and working and collaborating. Because when I got into the business, there were still first generation guys left. I mean, I gave a what do you call it? A speech at Shelley Mayer's memorial. Shelley was the first editor in comics. Shelley and his boss, MC Gaines, created the comic book in America in the early 1930s. And I was able to give a eulogy. You ever been get into a room with all these like famous people, or at least people you respect, and wonder how the hell you got into that room?
Yeah.
That's it.
I did a short story with Dennis Cowan for this Deadpool anthology, and I had created
You work with Dennis Cowan, man.
I did. And I was like
God.
one of the few times I felt I was so concerned you could feel my sweat through my emails. That's how like self-conscious I was working with one of my heroes.
He didn't care.
And so I can't. So this is the point where they wanted me to do the Deadpool core story, which was back when you all saw them all in Deadpool versus Wolverine. It's Lady Deadpool and all the head Deadpool, which I created, and with Kev Walker. But I totally lost my train of thought.
Dennis.
Yeah,
Dennis,
you were too busy specifying that you created something.
Yeah,
I
he
know,
was.
right?
He was totally
True.
big-headed.
Hey,
Totally
they
big
might-
head in the big head.
But so it was an idiotic Deadpool core story about berets from outer space when they drop onto your heads. They turn into a mime who can actually do things by moving their hands around. Because originally I had these mime villains for Deadpool who did that, and Axel Alonso had a Marvel love them. So I ended up doing the story, and so I just felt compelled to write Dennis Cowan after I sent him the script and said, "I'm sorry." And he's like, "It's okay."
Dennis is one of the nicest and coolest and most gifted people to walk the earth. And I hope he's not listening to this because he doesn't know how to handle compliments. What's that now?
I did invite
Bob?
him. I did invite him.
I see. It's wonderful to have that experience because he got you. You did something weird on a series that is known for doing weird stuff. That's like double weird or 4 times weird.
Yeah, and he crushed it. Like he crushed Dennis Cowan crushed the Deadpool core fighting mimes from outer space.
Yeah, life doesn't get better than that.
The moon in The Big Shot, and I cannot remember whether I asked him to do this or not. It was in the script. The moon had a beret on it, which was just like amazing. This giant splash page of them fighting. It was amazing.
That's
If
wonderful.
somebody years ago had told me one of your favorite single issues ever of the last 30 years, it will be a Prince comic, I would have laughed in their face. And I love the issue just
Yeah.
because it's drawn by him. It's literally, I don't
never seen
remember if it's called Purple Rain. It's basically a promotional
no, it's
comic
he
that
worked
is
on
like
the Prince thing.
Prince
That's
fighting
Marvel,
crime,
right?
something like that. And it's, I mean, I never care about Prince. I never care about anything like that. But like the art in that book is so good. Like it's probably one of my favorite single issues of the last 20 years. Like, no, probably more because it's like I'm guessing it was late 80s, 90s, something like that.
Somewhere around there. Now, what, mid 90s?
I don't know.
Anyway,
I don't
it's
know.
a brilliant book, and people who may have overlooked it because they don't care about Prince should check it out if they care about comic books.
Yeah.
Dennis is a huge fan of music, of American roots music, as am I. So when we get together or email or whatever, it's usually around music. And a couple of nasty stories about personal friends, but other than that, it's about music.
Hang on a second.
I'm sorry. Are you?
I'm going to say something.
Oh, your cat is there.
I'm back and forth with we had a cat visiting. I'm trying to
Yeah.
show two things at once. I want to talk. I found the Prince book, but we'll get to it later. But I want to talk about this issue particularly, or this issue we're talking about, Vampyrates #1, which comes out tomorrow from Boom Studios. I want to say that, go get it. But I want to highlight this panel, and everything that we've been talking about this book in terms of the art, in terms of the coloring, in terms of the lettering. It's just all in this panel where the heroine or protagonist kind of tries to gather her bearings, and this is what we get from that, and it's just phenomenal. I mean, Mike, you haven't seen this, so I want to give this to you. I love the way that I kind of want to ask about this red. This how did that discussion happen?
I was just going to go on to that one. You bet.
How did you guys, like, with Adam and Luca? Was it a joint discussion, or did he say like this is what I want, or this is the color? Like this red kind of permeates through a lot of the book, and I think it really
again,
is important.
Clearly, Adam has worked his magic here, as in every other goddamn panel in this book, but I think I knew I wanted it to be red, but for the stupidest reason, because I wanted to be coordinated with her hair. Like, really, I don't remember if I told
the hair, like,
actually, if possible, use the same shade of red. Like, I don't think we ended up doing it, but my original idea, because I really like Mike Mignola book in which the coloring is very like nuanced and like, you work with a limited palette. There was a series from Marvel some years ago, the Hawkeye series that was it was colored by
David Aja one.
Sorry?
David Aja. The David Aja one?
Yes, and it was colored by I think it was Matt Hollingsworth.
Matt Hollingsworth, yeah.
I might be wrong, but like I remember
that
basically there was an interview in which he said that he tried to color the book with the least amount of colors possible. Like, when I need blue, I'm gonna use the same blue for everything that's blue. When I need red, I'm gonna use the same red for anything that's red. And I remember telling Adam, like, can we do that? And he was like, dude, yeah, if you want, yes, but I wouldn't do it because this is already a very dark book. It's always night. Let's branch out. And this is one of the instances in which I was very happy to have a professional colorist telling me, nah. Like,
right.
It sounds good in your head, but nah.
But the red of her hair does match the majority of her costuming, her clothing. What on that panel that Bob had put up, if you look closely at it, you will see that the colorist, as along with the artist, obviously, established like 5 levels of dimension
Mhm.
You know, it would have been really cool to do a 3D book based upon that design, because you know you have the light blues in the background and the darker blues coming up, and the reds. It's the purple and the reds is just stunning, just stunning.
Yeah, it's. I know that I might not be the. I'm very grateful for Adam because I don't think I am the easiest artist to color because I'm Italian. So like my DNA, my comic DNA is Italian comics, and the Italian comic industry is 99.9% in black and white. Like it's just
Yes,
Sure.
I think it's just a budget thing. Like we don't have the kind of budget that the American industry has. So everything started in black and white, and we just instead of just changing it, all the artists adapted the style to work in black and white. And the thing is, I grew up with American comics. I grew up with superhero stuff, but I'm starting to realize now as an adult professional that probably that is in my DNA way more than I thought it would be. And it probably I'm starting to wonder if it makes me very hard to color because when I draw, I don't think about colors like at all. Like I never once in my life was drawing a page and thought like, I wonder how this is gonna be colored. Like no, in my head, the black and white inks that I do, that's the final product. Then everything that comes later is like, I don't know how you guys do it. I don't want to know. And I guess it doesn't make me the easiest artist to color, but again, Adam, it was a pleasure to work with him, really.
well, the black and white traditions in Italian comics are wonderful and amazing, and you see it in different ways, interpreted differently in other European comics, and to a certain extent, in Japanese comics as well. There is no right or wrong when it comes to coloring. For example, that red hair on top of the red costume, that's a no-no. You're not supposed to do that. You're supposed to differentiate. But as I said, there's no right or wrong. There are good pages and bad pages.
Yeah.
But there's no right or wrong.
Well, the way I see it is like there's no right way, but there's definitely a wrong way to do it.
But what's wrong for you may be perfect for
Yeah,
the
it's
next
true.
guy. You know, you never know. You never know.
No, it's like sometimes it's like, oh, there's a million things that I would have never thought and it works. But then sometimes
Yeah.
like, oh, I don't like this. I don't even know why, but I do not like this.
Yeah, I get that. I get that.
What is issue 1 with this book is very much of a fantastic setup. Like you kind of start the first act of issue 1. There you're like, oh, there's probably gonna have some problems, but those problems are magnified like 1,800%. So and then we're reintroduced to somebody we get in the prologue, which I know what you were thinking, Luca, but I kind of understand where they were coming from, because like to bring that character back at the end is like, oh, that guy. So how I'm guessing that our protagonist is going to be in for even more trouble.
Yes, this is in many ways a fish out of water story.
Sure.
You went from palace to the brig. You're from empress to stowaway, so she's got a ways to go to crawl her way back up. From the bottom, and unfortunately she's stuck with a captain who, may not like her very much, or may not like the government she represents very much. But she's not in charge of that government anymore. Well, it's a whole thing.
Yeah. Okay.
It's a story.
It's a story. Yeah. She's a lot of problems.
I do want to throw, so Luca, just for you, this is the issue you're talking about.
Yeah.
This is the Prince issue.
By the way, it's a Brian Bolland cover.
It's a Brian Bolland cover, but
absolutely favorite artist of mine.
But how about this? This is Dennis Cowan page
Mm.
in that same Prince book.
Who inked this?
I think himself.
I think he
Yeah?
inked himself. Yeah, he inked himself.
Okay.
It was a very important project to Dennis, as I recall.
I believe that.
It meant a lot to him. Luca, let me ask you a stupid question. Were you named after the comic book convention or before?
This is something that I get all the time. If I wanted to be that guy, I mean, it doesn't matter really, but like the comic convention in Lucca is with 2 C's. The town is 2 C's. But
never been to the show. Would love to go.
I'm also very, very. When I started living in the US, I was made very aware, something that it never occurred to me, that I'm literally an Italian person with pizza spelled in their surname.
Yeah,
Which
I mean,
it never occurred to me before.
why? How did that? Wait, hold on. They have pizza in Italy, don't they?
Yeah. So
It's not,
It's there.
and you live in New York.
I lived
Where
8
it's even
years
wor-
in
that like
New
the,
York.
you have to understand that living in New York is worse for that than any other place to live.
New Haven claims to have invented the American pizza, and evidently they're right about that. But it's not like any pizza you've ever seen. My understanding is that's true if you have Italian pizza as well.
And they also, Connecticut also put on its welcome signs "Best Pizza in America," which
I
just
love
feels
that.
unnecessarily aggressive.
Oh, absolutely. And
remember-
it's so not Connecticut.
Very
I love
few. I remember very few things in my life made me angrier than when I was living in New York, in Brooklyn. My wife, from time to time, she was buying Time Out magazine just to see what was going on about town. And they had an article about the 20 best pizza places in the world. And the first Italian restaurant was like, I believe, in number 17. Like, I was like, nah, guys, no.
You may have noticed that Americans tend to be very limited in our scope of the rest of the world.
I mean, yes, but also there was a place from Bangkok that was like ahead of the first Italian restaurant. Like, I mean,
I'm interested in that.
I really don't believe that, pizza is an Italian food. Pizza became a worldwide food, is everywhere. And I can believe that there's probably, I don't know, for some reason, somebody opened a really good pizza restaurant in Bangkok. But like, you rate it ahead of any pizza place in Italy. Like, I don't know.
I'm sure there are plenty of New Yorkers who are equally pissed about that. I love Thai food. I would love to have Thailand-oriented Italian food. I'd like to try that. That'd be cool.
It's funny what Mike said that Americans have a very simplistic view of things. There was a great like meme thing that I saw today. Somebody was talking about, and for just topically talking about, like, because we're in the middle of the World Cup at this point. So the meme was Europe saying America has no soccer culture, and then America does a wildly corrupt thing with the president of FIFA, and then Europe's response is, no, not like that.
That's cute.
Yeah. Trump versus FIFA.
Yeah, no, Trump with FIFA.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I understand, but FIFA is just Dr. Doom, on grass, and I don't mean the type you smoke. FIFA is not a great institution in and of itself.
No, it's not.
So there's no winner in that one for me.
Sure, there was. It was Belgium. Rim shot.
There you go. That's
Speaking of
Um,
memes today, I saw a great one. There was like a photo of Trump doing a press conference saying, "So, just today we found out that Belgium is developing nuclear weapons, so we need to invade now."
Yeah, exactly.
they're buying them from Iran. Come on.
Um, so, Fred, this is for you. Like you said, hey, let's Luca, let's do a book together. Now that you're in it, good decision.
Oh my
Very
God.
good decision. Very wise.
Good. What's it been like? I mean, doing like different when you're paired up with somebody for work for hire versus like, hey, let's go create our own thing. Like how has that been?
Well, kind of what Luca was alluding to earlier, the main difference is, one-on-one, like a lot of one-on-one conversation and communication. I'm always like horrified when I run into artists who are like worked with some writer in a book, a creator in a book, and I was like, well, what are they like? And they're like, I don't know. Never met him or her.
What? On a create your own book.
Yeah. And I was like, oh, geez, seems a little, leave the money on the doorstep on the side table, I guess, on your way out.
One of the weirder phenomena I have experienced is that when people are working on their own create-our-own project, other people tend to believe that it is more meaningful to them, and quite often it is, and quite frankly, it probably should be. But then the readers or those critics infer, therefore, that the hero of the story is speaking on behalf of the creator. And that can get really awkward because if you're telling a story, you're not talking about yourself. There might be little pieces of influence there, but unless you have corroborating information, it ain't him, it's a character.
I mean, I didn't know that Fred was a vampire with red hair
And a lady
lady parts.
and a sword and
Yeah.
fangs.
With a fantastic wedding dress.
All he knew, all
But
he
you are a
knew
pirate.
was that I had the hat.
That's all I
Right.
did know.
Only
That's
saw
it.
her. And she doesn't
That's
get
really
that
all you need.
much later.
That's really all you need.
There are comic books. Stop it.
Mhm.
I'm sorry. I have a visitor for the
Interloper.
show, and he's sitting in front of me the whole time. But I where what's been the most difficult thing or surprisingly struggle that you've had in kind of getting this book? Like was it the pitch? Where is it finding a home for it? Was it finding the right mix of things?
Well, if you're doing something on spec and you're not getting paid for it, it has to take backseat to other things.
Sure.
Too often, life makes us put so many things on the back burner. But I think what happened here was we were very lucky in that we pitched it to TKO. The editor-in-chief there was Sebastian Gerner, who I knew from Marvel. And also from Brooklyn, and we'd never actually worked together before. But he liked it, but the owners passed, but then when Sebastian ended up at Boom, he actually reached out to us and said, "Is Vampyrates still available?" And because of the aforementioned life things, it was.
He told me, I mean, I don't know how much it's true, but he told me that basically the first thing he did when he was hired Boom is get in touch with us and saying, I want your book to be my first business card that I have at Boom. So it was a great honor for me.
Is he still at Boom?
Yeah. I mean,
I
hopefully.
didn't know he was there. So that's fantastic.
Yeah. Unless you know something we don't.
No, I don't. I just didn't know how long ago this happened because I didn't know he was there.
That's true.
About 1 year.
Okay.
A year.
Yeah,
What's weird
more.
is that there's a trend in comics. I'm sorry.
No, sorry.
Please,
I was just saying, much to my dismay, TKO folded, which I thought it was a tragedy because I think their output was fantastic. Fantastic.
We
And
could
it
have
was
a longer
really,
discussion about
really
why
a good
that.
line of books, like really great titles. And when they folded, he basically, I remember that we were talking because at that time my wife was pregnant and he had a baby. So we were talking about life in general. And then he was like, uh, I'm basically being made redundant and let's see what happens. And he worked at Book for a while. And then Book too, I think they had massive layoffs. So he ended up at Boom and literally, at least that's what he told me. The first thing he did was, hey, I remember Luca and Fred Peach. It was so good. I want that to be the first book I am attached to in my new job at Boom. And I've been saying this to everybody. Like, I am still constantly amazed at how very like we have a level of support that I've never seen ever, like in my career so far. Like everybody at Boom seems to be crazy about the book. Like it's very nice to see because already comics is a weird job because basically you're working on something that people is not gonna see for like I don't know months, and so you tend to work a bit in a vacuum because sometimes like especially if you're an artist you spend 6 months drawing a book and then it's like I wonder if somebody's gonna like it because it already happened to me that like a year of my life spent on a book and then the book just and it happens. And to see that even before we finish issue 1, everybody I spoken to at Boom was fully on board. Like they were really like keen on making our book one of the high profile titles of the season. It was so nice to hear because I don't have a huge career. I only work for hire for stuff like Marvel. And when they hire you to do a Marvel character, I mean, that, yeah, the book is gonna be fine. Like, like never once you're hired to do a Spider-Man. I wonder if Spider-Man is gonna fold. No, it's not. And this was great.
The history of comic book publishing in the States is that if you're working for one company now, in a few years you're going to be working for or with another company, and so on and so on and so on. The book publishing industry has just caught up to us now because they're going out of business so fast. Layoffs are always massive in publishing. Getting into publishing is a stupid thing to do from a financial standpoint or from a security standpoint. You got to do it because of what's in your heart. And if you can put that on the page, you have a chance of succeeding. If not, it's just a job. And I don't want to read your job. I got my own.
It's true. It's again, I know that I'm probably saying a lot of like obvious stuff because Fred has done like a million creator-owned projects. For me, it's like it's the first time that I do something that we came up with. So it's I feel it's by far the best thing that happened to my career, but also I feel like I am very worried in a way that I wasn't because you work for Marvel, you send a page, you get a check, done. Like, oh, the issue you did went really badly. Yeah, I don't care. Like, I'm sure Marvel is gonna be fine.
Yeah. Yeah,
Well,
and
now they are.
also the big publishers have no real idea how much money an individual issue makes or loses. And I've gone over those numbers with publishers over and over and over again. And so you're putting in $1,000 for rent because you're in Times Square and rents are high in Times Square. Okay, but what does that have to do with publishing comics? you can do it anywhere. I mean, today we do it anywhere. It's a stupid business that I love and have devoted much of my life to. But let us remember that Superman sat in a drawer for 3 or 4 years before it got sold.
No, it's
Yeah,
something
sure.
that the more I work in comics, the more I realize I don't know how jaded it is to say it, but like I love the medium so much. It's the thing that I love most in life, and I hate the industry so much. So
Yeah.
much.
Yeah, that is. Well, first of all, I want to check your family tree because there's got to be some crossover there with mine. But that's I mean, that's it. The Sisyphus struggle of pushing that rock up that mountain every day. That's publishing. That's publishing. And you come into work the next day, that rock is all the way back, and you got to push it again. The fact that you in comics could do it creatively, that's a big benefit. It's your decision.
It's true. It's of course nothing happened in a vacuum because in a perfect world I would love to make comics in my room and just put it out there and people like it. But
Yeah.
the sad truth is that if it doesn't sell, you're off. So
Right. And also, if you're crap, you're probably not going to sell.
I mean,
there are good books that die. It doesn't mean if you have a great issue or a great storyline, you're therefore going to sell well. But crap, unless it's licensed, and even then, generally does not sell twice.
I have some opinions about that, but I'm not gonna make names.
I want to talk about one other panel in Vampyrates #1 that I absolutely loved. And again, it's perfect in every way. The writing, in the art, in the coloring, in the lettering, and it's this panel. Where she says, I said find her. Also, Fred Klotz, you can't that's the damn it. It's Klotz.
It's shit.
I understand. Shit.
Because
they don't shit?
Vampires don't shit. They have an all liquid diet. So
I love it.
Shit is a meaningless word to them.
So
that never occurred to me. That's really scary.
I actually came up with Klotz when I was writing Vampirella for Dynamite because I figured they were, and she was on a spaceship full of Draculonians, and so I thought the aliens have to have their own lingo, So I just
if you think about it, you've never seen Dracula on the toilet, so makes sense. Checks out,
or Superman.
Well, you've seen Supergirl though.
He's also an alien, so.
That's true.
So, like I said, I do love this panel. I love it. But I'm going to tell you, and I'm sure I'm not the first, or I'm sure I'm not alone in this. But it immediately made me think of this.
Uh-oh.
Am I right?
Yeah, that's what
I believe this reference was in the script, right?
Yes, I think I actually posted a YouTube
he actually
clip
mentioned it in the script. Like he said,
it absolutely evoked that image, that thought. Like every syllable is enunciated and slowed down. It's perfect.
Jody did a stellar work there.
She did. She is phenomenal. Like I said, this is a really, really high quality lettering. She's great. I love her. This is next level.
I feel really bad because I talk about Adam all the time, and I never once talk about Jody because I don't know her. I don't think I've ever exchanged any word with her. So I feel like I don't know, she's fantastic. But I feel like I should I should mention her way more. Yes.
She's
You
fantastic.
should call her up. You should talk. You should meet.
She's on Blue
Yeah.
Sky. She's pretty active.
Yeah. Yeah. So what's next for you guys?
More
Hopefully
vampires.
more of this.
Okay, that's fair.
I'm very excited. I have a book coming out in August from AWA. I'm doing the Oz series with Mike Diodato Jr. and our second book, Into the Outer Lands, comes out. So that's pretty cool.
Cool.
That's in
And
August.
There's more Alien / Valiant / that stuff coming too.
There is. I have All New Harbinger is coming out monthly. That'll be wrapping up in a couple months. I currently had Greg Pak and I. We did Weapon X with Luca. We do a comic about Gaston, the villain from the Beauty and the Beast. That last issue is going to be out next month. And ongoing, I have The Future Is, which is my ongoing cyberpunk comic from Rekka Comics.
Yes, which I need to get. Like I have like the first 2 issues, but then they stopped coming, and I didn't know. So
We will gladly sell you cyberpunk comics.
It looks gorgeous, guys. Like the writing is but like it looks gorgeous.
yeah, no,
Were
I'm
you
sure.
familiar with Ennio Buffi before?
No.
Luca? He's
Sorry?
our main artist is from Milan. His name's Ennio. I think it's Buffi. I don't know if
No,
I'm-
yeah, I know who he is. I have never heard about him before I read the book. Like I didn't know who he was, and it's fantastic. And also the covers are amazing. I believe
It's
that it's
right.
Gary Brown, right?
In the most recent issue, Gary Brown did the pencils just coming off Wolverine, and then Joe Keating, our editor, found the colorist whose name is Owen. I don't have it. It's in the comic. Probably on the comic.
All right. This has been fantastic. I am super excited about this book. It comes out tomorrow. I think I've said that once or twice. Go get Vampyrates from Boom Studios, from Fred Van Lente, Luca Pizzari, and Adam and Jody and everybody else at Boom. I hope this is a hit. It looks great. It's going to be it's got nice legs.
I think so. So
And a nice
Right.
dress.
that's
And
right.
There
a
you
damn nice dress. Damn
Damn
nice
nice
dress.
Good haircut.
Gentlemen, thank you very much.
Thanks, Mike.
Doing
Thank
this
you
with
guys
us.
for having us. It
This
was really,
is,
really nice.
Yeah, I've enjoyed this conversation greatly, and I wish you nothing but the best. It's kind of silly because Fred's been in this thing about as long as I have, almost as long as I have. So he's enjoyed the best. I wish you more.
Thank you so
Well,
much. Sir.
I need all the well wishing you can send my way. So-
Yeah, I think that's always true. We all do, but I am sure because artists they're in a room, there's no light, they feed you once in a while. I understand.
Don't shower much. Yeah.
No, yeah, I've been meaning to talk to people about that. At conventions, you should shower.
All right. We'll talk to you soon, Fred. My love to Crystal. Luca, I don't know your wife, but my best to her as well. And we'll
Thanks.
see you guys soon.
All right.
Bye, guys.
Thanks, guys. Okay.
All right. So
Thursday. We're here Thursday.
Thursday, Shelly Bond in the house. It's going to be
Yeah.
fantastic. I have some catching up to do on her stuff, but I'm super excited that we're able to fit her in. Her Kickstarter is currently running, so go ahead and back it now. It's fine. It's called Subculture by Shelly Bond. I think it's off Register Press. I'm not sure if it's under her or her business, but that's going to be here next week. As I said earlier on the show, we don't have a guest yet because somebody has canceled, but I'm pretty confident we're going to get somebody to fill in. I have a couple of people in mind. If not, we'll figure something else out.
I think we'll just turn it over to the cats.
The cats will be fine. The cats will be
Yeah,
fine.
they'll be great. For a few minutes, and then they'll get bored.
Then they'll that'll be enough. All right, folks. Thank you for being here. we're happy to have you. We're going to be here again next Tuesday and the Tuesday after and the Tuesday after and the Tuesday after. We'll see you guys later. We want to remind you to be kind to each other and to read more comics because they're good for you. And Mike,
listen, I'm always grateful that you folks would put up with us for, an hour and a half to 2 hours. That's terrific. We will see you, so we hope, this Thursday and again next Tuesday, and so on and so on. Have a great July.
see you later.
This has been a production of the Pop Culture Squad Network. PopCultureSquad.com. How do you nerd?